Media. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you all to the Barbados Labour Party's headquarters, or campaign headquarters, for this, the first in a series of briefing sessions that will be held during the course of the election. At the outset, I want to first of all introduce the Deputy Campaign Manager, Mr. Noah Lynch, to my right, and Ms. Patricia Paris, the CEO of the Barbados Labour Party. As you are all aware, the first week of the campaign has more or less been completed. And in this period, we finalized the selection of our candidates. I think all of you are aware that we had 4 nominations. 2 were contested, 2 were uncontested. And last Sunday night, Sunday before last, we had a meeting, a National Council meeting, to ratify all 30 candidates to contest the next general election. This is a process within the BLP. I don't know how others do it. We have a process, can be very competitive. Others, we don't involve in just selection. And at the end of the day, even though you're nominated at the constituency level, the National Council still has to ratify you as the candidate. So we've done that, and over the past week, in the various constituencies, we have been busy checking our lists, making changes, transfer, recognizing, of course, that in every election since I believe the 1990s, there have been discrepancies with the electoral lists. We maintain that the EBC is independent of government, and we follow the rules and instructions, and that's why in many of our constituencies today, you will see them very busy trying to submit changes, whatever, online or forms in person, trying to make that deadline of 7:30 this evening. Nomination tomorrow, as all of you know, and I've been informed by the CEO that all of our candidates have prepared their papers, and we have a schedule of nominations to the various constituencies, which I believe has been shared with the media already. The event that a lot of you have been looking forward to would be tomorrow evening at 7 p.m., the official launch of our campaign and introduction of our candidates. All 30 candidates will be presented. This will take place in Oystons and Granny's Car Park, and I think that is one of the major events of this campaign. Going on, there'll be a number of major events, but this is the liftoff, the launch, and indeed the presentation of our candidates. So this is tomorrow night at Oystons. Thereafter, you'll be informed of our various meetings as we go on. As we embark on this campaign, we are confident as a party. We see it as the continuation of a journey in which we embarked on in 2018. It has had its difficulties. We immediately had to deal with the stabilization of our economy. And after that, we've had various trials and tribulations. We've had Hurricane Elsa, we've had Beryl, we've had the volcanic ash, we've had COVID. And through it all, we have maintained a steadiness and steadfastness and have been able to stabilize again the economy, if I can put it, for the second time after that. And we see this period as a period now of going forward into a period of building resilience as an economy and transforming Barbados. So we see this election as seeking the people's permission, the people's mandate for us to continue in the direction in which we are going. Our theme will be, you will see in a number of our shirts, Barbados Strong. It speaks to the strength of the Barbadian personality, the resilience of the Barbadian people, and indeed in terms of the leadership, the strength of the leadership of the Barbados Labour Party. I think all of you recognize that these are trying and difficult times globally, and that in this day and age we need strong, tested, and experienced leadership to take us forward. We have been hearing some criticisms, and we will defend our record. We will defend it. We will present to you our record of achievements. We have not achieved everything that we said that we would have done, but the vast majority of our promises have been kept, and we have a proud record which we will defend at the appropriate time. We've heard people speaking about removing VAT, and there's just one caution I have for the people of Barbados. VAT earns approximately $1.2 billion of revenue every year for this economy, 30% of the revenue. If it is going to be removed, I think you need to find out very early how it is going to be replaced. And that is all I will say on that at this point in time. We will fight an election on issues. We are not into the name calling and the dirtiness. We will not be sidetracked by vicious whispering campaigns or innuendo, and we will be focused on the issues of the day and speaking to Barbados, defending our proud record, and indeed speaking to the transformative measures which we will be bringing to Barbados. I don't know, Mr. Lynch, you have anything to add?
No, I think you said it all.
Thank you. Okay, questions? Any questions?
Recently, we've seen some stories from the Barbados Daytime Power. We've seen advertisements in the media, and I know that circulars were told to the individual parties about the posters being on the electric poles. How would you respond to that?
Well, we have been trying, we've sent out the notices to the branches, and I think you will see a number of branches have been using the tape. In fact, this morning I was seeing that some of them were not even getting the transparent tape. They were using the brown tape, which of course is difficult to maneuver. We've been adhering to that. Having said that, people have been putting up posters for years. People put up posters for dances and all sorts of things, and I don't know that there's any circular. And I'd be interested in seeing what some of the opposition's posters are being put up with, because I see some along the way and I don't see any tape. So I'm just curious. But we do take the advice of the Light and Power, and as far as possible, we are following the guidelines. And indeed, I believe some of the hardware stores have out of tape based on the volumes that we've been purchasing.
We've heard a lot during this season in relation to voter apathy. Is this a concern?
Of course it is a concern. First of all, our popularity, having won 30 seats both times, that in itself engenders apathy. People feel that it is a foregone conclusion, that there's no need to go out and vote, that they feel, we don't know, that the BLP is likely to win. So there is apathy. Persons in every society, you win an election, and after you begin to lose popularity. So that there's a downward trend usually. In most countries, people then might decide if they're going to go to vote against the government or if they're going to go with the opposition. I think a lot of the apathy in Barbados also has to do not only in terms of the people not having seen what all the wishes fulfilled by the government in the first 7.5 years, but also in terms of what are the alternatives. And I'm not here to speak on behalf of the opposition, but I think some of the opposition parties need to get their houses in order. But there is a measure, and we have been encouraging people to go out and to vote. It is their right, it is their fundamental right, and it is their decision, their choice. We are the people's servants.
Mr. General Secretary.
But good morning to you.
My apologies for being late. However, it was no fault of mine. There was a truck turned over at Robert Street, so that would be. I don't know if this would have been addressed before, however, but during your event at St. Lucie, there was an unfortunate incident where some kids went on stage, etc., and displayed some behavior which was not in the best.
I didn't see it or hear it, but I have heard about it. And
has it been addressed at the party level?
Well, I mean,
to ensure that?
Certainly that was not expected. I mean, the party held an event. You have entertainers being paid to perform. I think it is extremely regrettable that it was allowed to happen, but you can't hold the party responsible for some, I don't know how to describe, the parent allowing a child to go on the platform, and indeed for the performer to hand the child the mic. I think it is regrettable. I think it was despicable, and we sincerely apologize to all Barbadians, and would certainly work to ensure that it doesn't happen again. I believe when it happened, I wasn't there, but it was told that plainclothes police was immediately summoned to remove take the child off the thing. But that is regrettable. But I don't think that you should make a mountain out of that. Certainly we can't control it.
I'm just asking the questions that well, my constituents would be
your constituents?
Yeah.
Okay.
My constituents, as in readers.
I see you wearing black, and I see a party has black as its color.
I don't know any party that has black, sir.
There is one.
There is one? Really? Oh my goodness. Huh? Really? Come on, no.
They know.
Yes, sir.
You're
We
such a
haven't had a
question.
debate in quite some time. In terms of, is that something that your party would encourage and is open to?
This is the third time I happen to be campaign manager for the Barbados Labour Party since it's 2018 now. And in every election, thus far I haven't seen any written, but certainly in 2018 and 2022 there were correspondence. We were into discussions about the debate. We were working out how it would be done, the rules, how it would be controlled. In 2018 it petered out, never came to nothing. Last election we spoke about it. I believe it was matters with the press association and stuff like this, but that never came. And certainly this campaign thus far I've received no correspondence expressing any interest in any debate.
But if one is to be organized, is this something that the party will be open to?
The party is always open to seeing what is being put on the table and how it will be dealt with and what are the rules and how it will be managed. That is very important.
Dr. Walker, how many meetings do you have planned for the season?
That will be difficult to say at this point in time, because we've been adjusting. You must understand that the campaign is a very fluid thing. You plan meetings, then you might have to say, well, we don't need to do it here. We can. We're holding here. We might need to go there. So it's difficult, but I would say that we're going to look at about what 6 to 7 per week would be reasonable. And I said at the outset they're going to have some major meetings, as you would not anticipate in the campaign.
I just want you all to confirm something for me, please. Election is still February 11th. The reason why I just received a note that the BLP was rating the president to invoke Section 37 of the Representation of People Act, which allows for the postponement of an election. I guess this is based on the back and forth this weekend with the electoral list.
I don't get into those matters. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a legal advisor. I'm not a member of the EBC or the Commission. All I know is that an election has been called, the rate has been issued by the president, and the date has been set. And I don't know what will, as far as I'm concerned, there is an election. And the opposition parties have been calling for an election sometime. They were ready. They've been calling. So, I mean, you call for an election, and when it comes, you're not ready. And you try carrying forward. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But as far as I'm concerned, in the Barbados Labour Party, the election is on the 11th of February, and we are ready.
Ready.
Do you have any comments?
No, it's just I have nothing to say.
We'll call them
We are ready.
disappointed. Call Phil.
Remember?
In relation to, I've seen already some posters being torn down. In relation to that, and some videos too of like viral with people tearing them down.
It's
to
part
leave
of
a
the
comment.
course. It's part
It
of the
happens
course.
every time.
Happens in every election. Your posters will be. I've told the candidates, do not put up all of your posters at one time, because you will need to replenish them later in the campaign. That's part of the course. Thankfully, it is not like as virulent as countries. I lived in Jamaica, and it was amazing. You would pass and see a wall covered in PMP posters, and in the afternoon you will see JLP, and the next morning you will see PMP, and you tear them down. We're not like that. I think we still exercise some decency, but posters are stripped down. That is part of the course.
To put out.
Hmm?
No appeal in urging persons to Barbadians to.
But I don't know who tears them down.
control
I can't control it. I don't know who tears them down. I had certainly not. But it's well beyond my
It's not a
control.
law for that, like, if you tear down the poster, it's not a law for it, like, you get charged or anything.
Nah.
No,
Remember, like the boys already said that you shouldn't be putting
you
posters
should
on
be
their
putting
posts. So
posters on
me,
the posts.
yeah, so. Good.
One last question from me, Dr. Walton. Obviously,
They just sent this one for you, Carl.
no, sir. Just started. The the BLP's record is the one that is pretty much, I don't know if you would have addressed this.
I spoke of that earlier. I said we're going to present a document with our promises and what we've achievements, and that we are going to defend it.
Okay.
I said that we haven't achieved everything we said would have done, but that we are going to defend it. You can mark my word, it's going to be defended.
We read record.
What would you see as the highlight of that in terms of your achievements over those 7 years? Though? I don't know if again if you would have
It's
addressed
so
this.
many. It's so many.
But
The achievement, of course, would have to be the stabilization of the economy
Economy.
in the first 2-3 years. I mean, I think you lived there.
Two-bird program.
The two-bird those things like this. That is overall an macroeconomic issue. We've done
Right.
a lot of
Exceptionally
development.
done,
I think things that must go down, however, would be the minimum wage legislation. This is something that parties have been toying with for years. And when you move people who were getting $6 a week to $10.50 per week, lower income workers, I think that is really significant. Of course, there are other things, paternity, but in terms of other infrastructure development that has occurred. But I think in terms of touching people, it has to do with the minimum wage, it has to do with the measures. I know you all criticized and said the cost of living, but the government has been putting measures in place to try to control the cost of living. And there'll be more measures to be put in place. We have had our issues with housing, well over 1,200 houses have been built. And these are issues that need to be addressed as it relates to, I'm not going to talk the sewage in the street, I leave that for you all to deal with. But certainly as it relates to collection of garbage, I think that has definitely improved. The sanitation has never had so many trucks in Barbados' history. When I was Minister of Health back then, we had 35 and we thought it was a record. Now they have as much as 58 compactors. And the electric bus fleet, I mean, this is a phenomenon in the Western Hemisphere for a country this size. So there's a lot to speak about.
again, final question this time. There has been a criticism, anecdotally of course, that much of the strength of the party is, especially the candidates, surrounds the leadership, and that basically many persons are more or less voting for the Prime Minister as opposed to voting for the individual candidate itself. Are you satisfied that all 30 of your candidates are pretty much strong enough to stand on their own without, I mean, obviously there is no divorce in the Prime Minister from...
You can't divorce the Prime Minister from that. I don't know that there's any country in the world where you don't vote in terms of the leader there. I am confident that the candidates can stand on their own. There's some new candidates, and in fairness to them, but they're showing some strengths already, even in their campaigning, etc. But you can't get away. And I said it earlier. I spoke about the country. I spoke about the strength of Barbados, the resilience of its people. I spoke about the need for strong leadership. In these days, in these times, with the geopolitical issues of the world, the vicissitudes in geopolitics in the world, you need strong leadership. You need tested leadership. You need leadership that is experienced.
Particularly in these uncertain times.
Thank you. That's it? Any more? There's one that I came for you to answer, but you haven't asked it. So next time. I believe that we're offering you some. We came here early, so we're offering you some light refreshment. Okay? Thank you.